Welcome back to Longtime Toolies. It's Kyle again. Real quick video on finishes today. Finishes. You're going to be doing a lot of projects, a lot of woodworking. You're going to stain them, you're going to put tung oil, you're going to put whatever on them to give them a nice rich color. Or you're just going to want to protect your nice, beautiful, natural hardwoods that you don't want to ruin with the finish. So we're going to go over finishes. No free ads, but we got a bunch of them here for you. I want you to see what they look like in the stores. We'll start off with probably the most common, polyurethane. You got oil-based and you got water-based. They're relatively the same. The one thing is going to be oil is a little bit more durable. It's going to stand up better to heat, but the water-based stuff dries a lot faster and you can apply it inside, out, not in a well-ventilated area. You don't necessarily have to use a respirator. It's not safe. You can't huff this stuff in. Don't recommend that. But with oil, you got to be careful. You want to do it outside with a well-ventilated area, or do it inside with a respirator. Wear a mask. Everyone's used to that nowadays. These are going to be your most common. If you got something going inside, like a coffee table, a kitchen table, good oil-based polyurethane for that. The water-based stuff, if it gets too hot, it'll leave a white ring around it, and there's ways you can take it out. But the oil-based stuff is going to be more durable, stand up to heat a lot better. Polyurethanes. Next we have Spar Urethane. Now they have Spar varnish, and it's called Spar because that's what people would put on the spars for boats. Big long paddles, whatever. I'm not a big boat guy, so I don't really know. This is going to be the most durable. This is going to last the longest. It says right here, sunlight. No, that's mirrored. Sunlight, rain and moisture, temperature changes. It's great for stuff you're putting outside. You're building a picnic table, you're building Adirondack chairs. You want to finish them, help them last longer, resist all the bad stuff that goes on outside, the wind, rain, sun. You want to use Spar Urethane or Spar varnish. It's going to stand up real solid to all those things, and it's going to put a nice finish on it. It's a little thicker, but you'll appreciate it in a couple years when you don't have to rebuild that table. Last, we have shellac. Shellac is actually from bugs. Like these bugs, they're called lac bugs. They secrete this, basically shellac, and then a bunch of guys will take it and break it off the branches, and then that becomes shellac. This is what I have on my workbench. It's real easy to apply. It dries really fast. It's pretty resistant to heat and stuff. It protects it from water because I have MDF. If MDF gets wet, it bubbles up. It looks real gross. So shellac, last thing. You'll appreciate shellac when you start using it. Now, how are you going to put all these on? Well, you have a lot of options. You have a white rag. I like using rags. It's cheap, it's easy. You don't have to clean up a paintbrush afterwards, which is always a pain. Just a simple white rag. You cut off what you need, you apply it. Simple. You also have brushes. Simple brush. Cheap. They call it, this is a China brush. It's just synthetic fibers. Real cheap. You can get it for like $2. I like getting the cheap ones because I hate cleaning brushes. Everyone does. This one, I've had this for a long time. I clean this one. It was more expensive. It's good for putting on, I use it to put on shellac. Foam's probably one of my favorites for the finish. Foam brushes, simple, cheap, easy, you throw them away. So you want your surface, when you do it, to be prepped, sanded, smooth, no dust on it. Whatever's in between the surface and your finish is gonna stay there. So you wanna prep the surface. Now, if you want to do more than one coat with polyurethane, this is basically plastic. It's just liquid plastic. So when you do it, it's not going to dry perfectly. None of these will. So you want to finish it off in between. I like using steel wool. Steel wool, usually double aught 00 steel wool. That's going to give you a nice finish. You put it on nice and smooth. You let it dry. You come back through. You give it a rub with steel wool. Get all those real minor imperfections out. Whatever dust might have settled in there, you can knock down. Steel wool. Or you can use 220 grit sandpaper. I like using sandpaper too if it's something that I'm going to put a bunch of coats on, maybe 2 or 3. Really though, if you do any more than 2, you're kind of going overkill for a lot of this stuff. Maybe you want to go heavy on the Spar Urethane because this thing's going to get beat up. Maybe you live in Carolina where it rains and there's 100-mile-an-hour winds during hurricane season. It's up to you though. I like using the water-based stuff. I haven't been using it very long. I used to do the oil-based stuff. This is easy. It dries fast. It's nice for the things that you use in a shop. Little bonus. I've been using for things around the shop paste wax, finishing paste wax. This stuff is great. It's what I have on a lot of my plain totes that I've refinished. So this one here, this is finished with a couple coats of paste wax. It's real simple. You put it on with a rag, you let it dry, and then you come back with a rag and you buff it nice and clean. It's got a nice soft feel. It feels nice and warm in the hands. It doesn't ruin the finish. It protects it. It's real easy to reapply. It's just a nice simple thing for shop fixtures, jigs. You can put the paste wax on the soles of the plane too, or soles of your jigs. Like I just did this little guy. So maybe I want to make it smooth. Put some paste wax on it. Not a big deal. Also, you can use paste wax on the bed of your table saw or on the sole of your circular saw. Real simple product to put on, lasts a long time, and it just gives everything a nice smooth finish. And if it's metal, it protects it from corrosion and rust. Real simple down and dirty video on finishes. Make sure when you're doing it though, reminder, safety. This stuff will mess you up, give you headaches. You won't even notice it because you'll be so busy. So safety first, get a respirator, do it outside. Make sure you're taking your health seriously or else you won't be able to do this stuff for long. So that's all I have for today. Follow us Instagram, Longtime Toolies, Twitter, Longtime Toolies, Pinterest. All right, guys, we'll see you next time.